opening up computers at a very, very early stage to see why a computer is not working. You understand? And then I noticed that I was so passionate about those things, so I decided to go to school for that. I went into a computer school in the beginning to know more about systems and how to, hardware and all those things. And after that, I studied more in technology and in communication. And, I believe that if you don't take care of your roots, the tree will have a very shaky stand and it will fall. Even if you are a growing tree, you are a growing tree, and you notice that your branches are beautiful. So you allow your branches to spring forth very much, and you forget that the root is holding you up. So you concentrate on the branches, the beautiful branches, or the flowers that people are plugging. Oh, I'm beautiful, people are plugging my flowers. And you forget that you as a tree, you are standing because something is holding you down. So you must always make sure that your roots are firm. Your roots are solid. So whatever I got in America, my studies, my morals, my life, my education, my spirituality, I decided to come back home to make sure that the more people that are home that have not got the access to where I have been, I should be able to help them.
I see.
Because if, God forbid, one day anybody says, we are turning away everybody who is black in America, where are you going? You have to come back where you started from.
Yeah.
Do you understand? And if you hadn't built your roots strong enough, where will you come back to? So I believe that my roots hold me. So I came back home, and I started Tenaifa Ghana Limited with my husband, which is the first IT company that was actually started and run by a woman. Because my husband, yes, in Ghana, my husband was mostly over there, and he was just pushing me, do this, go and do this, go and do that, So, and God being so good, I put together the Ghana Internet Service Providers Association called GISPA, which has now been photocopied, in different African countries, which is a good thing, I like to start things for people.
But are they all made up of only women that are into IT?
No. This is Ghana Internet Service Providers Association. It involves even the telecom companies, anyone who has to do with communications and technology.
Are they carrying out your vision the way you wanted it?
Oh, no, Moses. The men kicked me out. The men took over, and they're saying that they started it.
They kicked you out?
I'm not even going to go there. I know. It's only a woman who knows the father of her son or her child. You cannot tell a woman the father of her child. It is only the woman who knows the father of her child.
So when it comes to the Ghana...
But do you understand what I'm saying? That it's only the woman
I do.
who knows the father of her child. You understand? So when I say that I initiated that association, I know what I'm talking about. And then, because of our culture, women always give way to men when it comes to speaking, and for men to lead us, and for men to be the head, and all those things. So our culture demands that. And even being a spiritual person, I know that it's always the man who's the head of the family. Unless the man is not there, then the woman assumes that position or that role. But when I invited the men, when I came into Ghana to start my internet company, and there were men around who were already doing it, and I invited them, listen, let's come together, we can have one voice, and then we can deal with the National Communications Authority, because at that time, they didn't regard us as anything. They were just knocking us left and right. But when we came together and we had a voice, we were able to sit down with them and negotiate and get some things done. So when I invited the men to come and join me to put this association together, now they have taken the credit for it. So I was a president, but the men...
For how many years were you the president?
The presidency, I believe, runs for 2 years. But the men were presidents. The first 2 years, a man. Second 2 years, a man. Third 2 years, I took over. And then when I finished, another, I left them. They took over completely. So
well, let me say, the deputy prime minister of Zimbabwe was here, and he told me that ICT is the key to development. Now, would you want to agree with that statement?
It's a tool. ICT is just a tool. It does not mean development, but if you apply as ICT, then you can get development.
And that will really help Africa?
Absolutely.
But how about our system? No, not having access. At times your net, the service was so poor, everything is not working, at times light off, in Africa. Some don't have access to computer because of the price, the poverty level, and all of that economic situation. So how can Africa really utilize, ICT? In spite of all these challenges.
There has to be policies. There has to be policies. So it has to come from the top. You see, there are many things that we take for granted as Africans, and our people in power. We are not demanding some things from them. If you are put in power and you are supposed to help the nation, there are demands that the people have or requests that people have that as a leader, you must look at those requests to help the people get satisfied. Because you are leading me. So if you are leading me, my requests must be your command. You understand?
Yeah.
It's not the other way around. Because if you are leading me and I want water, and you don't give me water, and I die, who are you going to lead? So we have our leadership so reversed. The leadership must be listening to the people and listen to what the people need, they desire, they require. And then the leader will do it for them. The people will be stronger and the people will follow you. But if you are a leader and you are running and we are jogging, you will leave us behind. By the time you come, we are thirsty, we are dead. See, so the concept of leadership has been reversed so far as I am concerned. I believe that if we have what we call the Communications Act, where we also had a framework that we put together. I was a core member of the team that put together the framework for communication in Ghana. And I love that challenge. Do you know why? Because it challenged me to do more research and to bring my idea to the table so that they can add it to the framework for the nation. I loved it. This is what we need. The stakeholders, the common people, the people who are in the industry must be part of decisions that are made for the industry. If I am building cars and you go and sit somewhere and you make regulations and policies for car builders without inviting me to bring my idea or my challenges, what are you going to bring to me? You don't know my field. You don't know what I'm going through. You don't know what I need. You don't know what the challenges are. You see, so the committees that are putting together must involve the people. The people that are being supported must be encouraged to be part when it comes to putting up regulations and policies for the people.
Putting down policies and regulations for the people must be people-oriented.
Absolutely.
That is what I have deduced. Now, you were once a member of the board of directors of Ghana News Agency.
Right.
Well, as an African, how would you rate African media?
I think so far I'm proud to be associated with the media in Africa. I think the media is doing very well. I only think that there must be direction. They are growing without direction. Do you understand? And the institutions that have been put together to direct the growth of media must come. They must take up their challenge. They must take up their mantle. They must take up, whatever they need to put together to direct the media.
But most time we depend on foreign media for even information concerning us.
Yes, I remember when I was at GNA, we used to depend on Reuters International to get our news, And I also know that GNA is a very credible institution, that much I have to say. The corruption over there is almost a no-no, and I think that it's an organization that has to be rebranded to gain its strength and its power, because it's really losing power. They don't have money to support them. So GNA really needs some money to support them, but that's by the way anyway. But I think that we need to build a great intelligence agency for media in Ghana. And in Africa, a great intelligence agency that can direct the media. See, you cannot shut people up because of a libel law and because of the freedom of speech and freedom of association and all that stuff. But see, when you freedom, people have no direction. You give freedom to people who have direction. Do you understand? Otherwise, if you give a gun to a child because the child has the freedom to get a gun, the child will shoot himself. Freedom doesn't mean that you give a microphone to anybody and just everybody to come and stand there and speak. That is why where you get people calling for mass murder and because you are giving microphones to the wrong people. That is why I'm talking about the Media Intelligence Agency. All right, and this has to be an African thing.
Okay.
All right, it has to. We have to put together a media intelligence agency in Africa, and it will take one person to start it. Everybody is waiting for government to do something. Government is busy paying bills. Government is busy looking for money. So individuals must start to do these things, and then you look for the support of government for endorsement, because government will not initiate. Government doesn't initiate businesses. The duty of a government is to build an environment for people to succeed in business. The government is not supposed to be involved in business. The government must build the environment, create an enabling environment for you and I to succeed in our businesses, to attract investors to come and support our businesses. But if the government fails to do that, and the government is involved in negotiating businesses for themselves, who is taking care of the businessman? Who is the private owner of businesses that is bringing job creation in the country? Because job creation, everybody says government is bringing job creation. It's not the government who is creating the jobs. It is the government who is enabling the environment to create jobs. Do you understand?
Yeah. My guest has been Yaa Owusu-Prempeh. Like I told you, I will just say a motivational speaker, because I don't know the title I should use for her today. So many. She was a member of the pioneer of Ghana Internet Service Providers Association, and of course today the association has become so large and very, very big. Now let's look at so many Africans that are trying to find their route back home. Some of them said they took them away from the time of the slave trade, and now they want to come back home. You are in America, so what is the situation like over there with some Africans who are they tired of the system over there, finding but their route back home?
Well, I'm sure, Moses, you heard that recently there was an economic crisis in America, even in Europe, and you can find a medical doctor who has no job. You can find a lawyer who has no job. I mean, that's how bad it was. Engineers have no jobs. Pilots have no jobs. Nurses had no jobs. It came to a point where America was in serious economic crisis. So even if America has been there, who are you, a third world country, that you cannot be there? So people got very frustrated. And that is why I'm saying that if you build yourself, you can live in any environment that you are put in. It's not the environment that is going to dictate to you. It is you who will dictate to the environment, because you have built yourself. And the crisis got so bad that the government had to give money to private sector. I don't know if that can happen in Africa, where government is giving money to private sector to inject private sector with capital for them to revamp for job creation. That's what happened. President Obama had to literally give money to banks so that the banks will come back to life, to give money to the automobile sector, to give money to medical sector, give money to them.
Grants or loan?
Some of them were grants, some of them were loans. But that is how bad it was. And for me, I saw a lot of our African brethren very, very frustrated. There were suicides going on. People were committing suicide. Because especially in the stock market, there was a lot of losses. People were killing themselves because of the losses. I'm talking about millions of dollars. Were lost. People who were trading, who were guilty of investigations, they were killing themselves before they are investigated. So there was a lot of chaos over there. And I know that if we, as Africans, we are smart, we will curb ourselves towards something like that happening. because it can happen where the system is artificially portrayed as being economically sound. The people are misled that the nation or the state is economically powerful and structured when it is a hoax. So when the reality hits the ground, that is what happens. The banks are losing money. Banks don't have deposits as they're supposed to. So the banks are losing money.
So that is forcing most Africans to come back home, whether they like it or not.
Yes, well, of course, if you have gone to achieve so much, you are an achieved neuroscientist or achieved surgical technician or achieved doctor or teacher. Teachers are paid very well in America. Teachers are paid very well. Nurses are paid very well. And it's actually the opposite here. So people of those professions didn't want to come back home. But it got to a point where they were staying home. They had no jobs. The schools had to cut down on jobs because they didn't have money to pay the teachers. The hospitals had to send people home. They didn't have money to pay them. Hospital bills were not being paid because patients didn't have money. They didn't have jobs. They were still sick. They had to go for treatment, but they didn't have money to pay for the doctor's services.
The serious spiral effect on the economy.
So, so it was a cycle. So if you are a nurse and you're staying home for 1 year, your bills have not stopped coming because you still have to pay your car insurance. You still have to pay your home insurance. So obviously, you think that when you come back home, those bills will stop. They don't stop when you come back home, but they reduce. Because even if you come to Ghana now, electricity is expensive, water is expensive, petroleum is expensive. So everywhere you go, there are bills.
Everywhere you go, there are bills, be it Africa, be it America or Europe. My guest will be leaving very shortly, but before she leaves, I wanted to comment on 2 or 3 other issues. Number 1, what should be the government policies on foreigners trading in another country?
A very dicey subject. Dicey because it cuts here.
I'm asking this because you are into business advisory.
Yes. I think that foreigners, when they come to any nation, must first of all respect that nation and know that that nation has something to offer them. That's why they came there.
Okay.
So if you also have something to offer the nation, you must go according to the rules and the regulations of the nation. Yeah. You cannot go to any nation and start opening a business when you haven't registered the business. And when you register a business, you need a local entity. You need a local partner before you can register the business. And you cannot go around it and try to be schemic and try to cheat the nation. Because it is not fair. If everyone had cheated the nation, you wouldn't have come to meet it, Rosie, or for you to come. So I believe that any foreigner that you are, any foreigner who has good ambition for the nation, when you come in the nation, the first place you go is to go to places where you'll be informed about how to start a business here and the requirements that you have to put together. And before you can even work, do you have the right documentation to work? The work authorization, you have to go to the Ministry of Interior, Immigration. You have to go there, find out the documentation that you need, pay the appropriate fees, the taxes that you need. Because I won't have IRS chasing me to pay my taxes when you, the foreigner, you are working and not paying a dime. Do you understand? That is unfair to the nation. So anyone who is doing that must stop it. I don't think we should ransack foreigners because we were foreigners somewhere else. And we played according to the rules over there. You cannot go to America and start working with that. America will encourage you to expand your business. They will encourage you to become whoever you want to be. But you have to play according to the rules. You pay your taxes, you file your taxes, you pay your state taxes, your federal taxes. All these things are very important. Yeah. And you have to register the company. And you have to sell the goods which are genuine. Don't bring fake goods into Ghana to come and kill the citizens. Fake drugs, fake food, fake everything. And then you expect the government to sit down and watch when you're destroying it. It is not right. So I believe it is a good step that the government is taking, but they have to tread on it very wisely because we have very genuine and good willing people who are here to help build the nation. We need them for the nation to expand. But they have to address the issue, but address it very wisely.
Address it very wisely. You must do it, and you must play according to the rule of the game. Second to the last, you are a motivational speaker. Do you have a very specific area you want to motivate people. Even on the program today, you have motivated me that you have to be the you in you, all the yous. I've heard so much today. So what is in the sleeve of Nana Yaa Owusu-Prempeh?
I believe that no one deserves to commit suicide. No one. It doesn't matter how bad your situation is. Suicide is never the answer. Because if your yesterday was bad and your today is worse, your tomorrow will be better. I believe that God has put you in the situation that God has allowed you to be in the situation where you are, so you can just be stronger. And tomorrow you will have a testimony. If you kill yourself, the testimony that is supposed to change somebody's life will never come. So I'm focused on giving people the hope to live for tomorrow. And I also believe that you do not go to school and come out always looking up to be somebody's worker. The moment you go to school, you know that you're coming out to be whoever you want to be. But first of all, make your mind that you are not going to work for somebody for the rest of your life. You can start your own business. You can be who you are. You can be the boss that you have to be. But you have to learn how to serve other people. Be loyal and be honest. Because today you are working for me. Tomorrow somebody will be working for you. And remember, what you reap, you're going to sow it. Yeah. So if you're loyal to me, you'll get a more loyal person. But if you steal from me, you're going to get the chief robbery officer working in your company. So be careful when you are working with people. I want to teach people how to be morally sound, how to be socially sound, people how to interact with the corporate world. My program is motivating the motivator to motivate.
Motivating the motivators to motivate.
Yes, so everybody has motivation in them. And we always think that we have to get so much or we have to be somewhere big before we can motivate others. The little that you have is enough to motivate somebody from where they are. So don't look down on what you have.
Yeah, hope to live for tomorrow. That is the vision of my guest today. So many people said because of this long profile, Nana Yaa Owusu-Prempeh should be 95 years of age. Another person said, oh no, looking at her, she should be 22. Another one said, no, this will be 33. How old are you?
Oh, Moses, you take a wild guess.
Wow.
You take a wild guess.
Well, if I guess, I will guess very right.
Oh, yeah, because you have seen my profile. I'm 44 years. I'm going to be 45 on September 21st.
That's interesting.
National Founders Day. Kwame Nkrumah's birthday.
Wow, Founders Day. Well, you've heard it from us, so the doubt is over. And the search for the age is also over. You can get that only on Trailblazers Africa. Maybe you should just drop a word for the leaders in Africa, and then we'll wrap it up from there.
Well, for the leaders of Africa, I would say that leadership is not a gift. Leadership is something that you take on because you love the people who are leading you. And once it gets into your head that you are the leader and you forget about the people that you are leading, the same people who put you there will be the same people who will tell you, we have had enough of your leadership. So if you are a leader and you have the heart of your people at your heart and the well-being of your people at your heart, I believe it is time for you to sit up, take the right pen, make sure the ink is solid enough, and write the bills and write the laws and write the information that will bring your people to a better level. After you leave your office, you are going to make history as a leader. Make sure your leadership is a positive history and not a negative history. Because remember, your children and your children's children will come and read about what you did. So being a leader today, remember that tomorrow we will read about you, and it better be a good thing about what you did.
Yeah, be a good leader, because whatever you do today, we'll read about you tomorrow. That is the parting word of my guest, Nana Yaa Owusu-Prempeh. He's been a very wonderful speaker on the show today. And of course, Trailblazers Africa, I must say that you really, really enjoyed that. Wherever you are watching, make your comments, and I'll be glad to read from you about what she had said today. I want to thank you for making time in spite of the tight schedule. You told me that today you don't go out, but I had to force you out. That is what Trailblazers Africa can do. Thank you so much for coming.
Thank you, Moses, for having me.
Yeah, thank you very much for being there at home watching And I for just, for a whole 1 hour, telling you so many things. And of course, she is a trailblazer. Indeed, I've been working with a whole lot of people. I can see my fine guy, the one I really, really love so much, talking about Elvis Donkor. And of course, Ru is also standing. Ato is dead, Dan. Everybody's been part of the program. Not forgetting my editor. I call him Awa Halaji Kofi Annan. I'll see you again next week by the grace of God. My name remains Moses Owopade. Bye-bye.